1.
What's going on, St. Louis? How's everybody doing? Well, like my friend says, tag a friend and bring him in. Let's tag a friend, bring him in.
That's our new thing.
Tag a friend, pull him in. That's right. Won't you join us? Huh? Won't you join us?
Good morning.
All right, how's it going?
I'm good. Good morning. Welcome to what we gonna say?
You listening to the Freeman Bosley Jr. Show
That's what I want
on
to hear.
KTZ 1600. Hallelujah!
Hallelujah. I gotta say hallelujah.
I got to say hallelujah. BJ wants us to particularly say
He did. He told
hallelujah.
us
So you got to try to get it in some kind of way. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm joined by my good friend and confidant, Anthony Shaheed.
Hey,
What's
man.
going on, my brother?
I'm good. I'm good. I always say assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters out there. In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. I'm glad to be here this morning. God woke us up and gave us another chance, man, at this thing called life to try to get it right one more time.
That's it.
But I got my secretary here with us, too. You want to introduce her?
We here.
Sister Felicia Hampton.
Hello,
That's
everybody.
right. The producer, the A, B, C, D, all of the above.
The executive
Yeah,
producer.
that's right. The woman, the straw that stirs the shake.
All right now.
That helps keep us going down here. Yeah,
That's a strong
That's
straw.
right. Yeah,
Happy Saturday, everybody, and welcome. Go ahead and tag a friend and bring them in.
that's right. And then we got none other than, huh?
Kevin
None
Kev.
other than
Brother
legendary. Yes, sir.
I'm gonna be honest
On the
with you,
ones
without
and
brother
twos.
Kevin Kev, I don't know what we would be.
Yeah.
Yes.
To my brother, I mean that from my heart.
Yes.
And he is the grandmaster.
Listen, Brother KV Kev is really working the technology. He has like 2 computers, and he's working at least 2 or 3 different softwares back there. I mean, he is really bringing this show to a different level. If you guys can go ahead and go to our Facebook page, and you can see some of the work that we have to give a big ups to Brother KV Kev, as well as to Judge for what they do. And you'll get a chance to see the Freeman Bosley Show logo, and the arch is beautiful.
Yeah.
While we're doing that, Secretary, can you give out all the information?
Absolutely, please.
Take your time and give it
Well,
out.
before
Absolutely.
we do that, I got to
Oh,
mention.
yes.
I got to
Let's
mention.
mention.
wait.
Back by popular demand. None other than
Whose house?
Bombay Boski.
Hey.
Join us today, you all.
Whose
Go all the way to
house?
Bombay?
Yeah, with his expertise. With
Yes.
his knowledge
Oh.
and his expertise. So
Thank you,
Yes.
Brother Bombay. We're honored. They've been requesting
Yeah.
you. People ask us, where's Bombay?
where is
Yes,
it?
welcome
Where is
back.
it?
We
All right,
say
so, Sister
Brother
Felicia,
Bombowski in the house.
Go ahead, sister.
So, guys, you can head over to Facebook right now and like the Freeman Bosley Jr. Facebook page, Freeman Bosley Jr. Show Facebook page. Also, go to YouTube. We have a YouTube channel. Go ahead and throw up some hearts. We have a YouTube channel. It's the Freeman Bosley Jr. Show YouTube channel. And make sure you subscribe. And don't just like go in and, I'm just going to take care of me and get these goodies for myself. We need you to tag a friend and bring them in. Let them know that we are here. We really want to get our subscribers up. We want to get our likes up, our followers up, right? Because we have great information.
That's right. That's what,
Yeah.
That, like the young people say, that's what's up.
That's right. And then what about Brother Anthony Shaheed? I mean, what you just giving out some of it, don't give out the rest of it?
We got to give out the sidekick information. you all know you better head on over. You know you better head on over to Tahi Youth Group on Facebook page. Brother Boots on the Ground, Brother Anthony Shaheed doing his thing in our city. Make sure you go to Facebook and like the Tahi Youth Group page. And also go to his personal page. I don't know if he can get any more friends because he's so popular, internationally known, but you can definitely follow him.
Right on. So we've got a good show. We've got a lot of things that we want to talk about. As you all probably know and heard, our friends down in Louisiana, and New Orleans, Mississippi, having a hell of a time.
Yes.
This Hurricane Ida has come through with a vengeance. She has come through with a vengeance, and she is taking no prisoners. The good thing about it, though, is that since Katrina, over many years ago, the city of New Orleans has upgraded the quality of its levees, its water system, and so it has been able to beat back Ida in a certain extent compared to how it was with Katrina. So, but that being said, there are over 1 million people right now, over 1 million people as we speak, that have lost power. No electricity now. No electricity. Well, people say, well, what does that mean? Well, if you don't have electricity, you can't even get gas. So ain't no need going to the filling station.
Can't get nothing.
No electricity. You might not. They probably can't even get money out the bank.
You can't see nothing.
You know what I'm saying?
First of all, you got to be able to see. If you don't have no light,
That's right.
it's a no-brainer.
No electricity, you can't even go to the store.
And one of the impacts that it had on the healthcare system, it was saying how when the electricity went out, one of the hospitals was reported that the generators were not working. And what that means, if you have patients on ventilators and they don't have access to energy, to the electricity, then what are they doing? They're starving for oxygen. And so that was a major concern down there.
So if they starve for oxygen, well, where are they getting it from?
They were fighting for their lives. I'm sure.
Well, some of them probably died.
I haven't side effect. So now when we count the deaths of Katrina, we say the 2 died, but we don't count the residual, right? Those that were impacted by this.
Right. The consequential.
That's
the
it.
Consequences.
Come on now.
Yeah.
So, that's it. So I don't know because I haven't checked the data lately, but I know that they had reported that hospital that the electricity was out and the generators were not working, and those that were on ventilators were basically trying to hold on the best they can.
Hold on the best they can. I know some people that have traveled from New Orleans to St. Louis here. They're friends of mine, and they come on a regular basis, but different circumstances to just have to pull up, get in the car or get on the plane. Well, you can't get in the plane because the airport was closed. Get in the car, drive up here to St. Louis.
How many miles is that, man?
It's I think it's about 9 hours.
And they said that they were even riding around. I know a friend of mine reported that they were riding around even looking to get gas. They couldn't even get gas. And so to try to make it back out of the city to home was a chore.
Yeah, and you fool around and you kind of not understanding the total dynamics of it. And you ask them, well, how long are you going to be here? We don't know.
Yeah.
We don't know. And the other thing about it, well, when you going back? Well, we don't know.
And they had this shelter in place.
You got the shelter in place. You got to hunker down. You got to hunker down. That's what you got to do, because this thing is really no joke. 1 million people without electricity. But the thing about it, though, can you imagine the work that has to go in to get that infrastructure back up and running? It'll probably be a month before these people have any electricity. Yeah, it'll probably be a month before they have electricity.
And like you said, if those levees hadn't been as strong this
Oh,
time
God.
as they was last time,
People would have died.
people would have died. So, everything is a tragedy, but it's not as bad as Katrina. But not that I'm trying to low grade this here neither, because it was a Category 4.
It was stronger than Katrina.
Stronger than Katrina.
Yeah, much stronger.
So that's something to think about. So there's always our hearts goes out to anybody that's
Yeah.
affected. Our condolences to anybody who's lost. Because I'm not really sure the number, but I know we have had some losses. I don't think it was as many as it was last time, but still, on behalf of Hallelujah 1600, we give our condolences out. And anything we can do to help on this station here to put the information out, feed us the information, and we'll put it out there.
And here's the other thing, too. Because of social media, the people that are still down there are texting and Facebook and folks saying, come here, come get me.
Ain't that
You know
something?
what I'm saying? They saying, come get me. I need help. Help. So,
And the college students were off in the dorms having a rough time.
ooh, that's
They were
rough,
having a very rough time in those college dorms.
Yeah.
It was like, hey, Mom, I need you to come get me. Mom can't come get you. You just have to tough it out.
Yeah.
Can
Can you imagine being a freshman, never left
That's what I
home?
was just going to say. You took the words out. Just got there, and now Mama's already concerned about leaving you. Now you calling for, and now they got to tough it out. I heard Brother
Yes.
Bombay said earlier, too, that he knew somebody was on the rooftop, and he
On the
texted
rooftop.
somebody and said, hey, I'm on the rooftop at such and such and such. You need to come get me,
Yeah.
So that was good, too.
So, guys,
Something else.
that was something. So I apologize. We are about to go on a break, but what I want to tell you is don't leave us. Go ahead and let somebody know that we're here. We have a great show lined up for you.
Got some hot stuff coming
So
up.
we're just going on a quick break, but do come back.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to the Freeman Bosley Jr. Show on KATZ 1600. Hallelujah AM. Keep it on lock. Quit praying.
Brother Bombay, since you've been gone, we done took this thing to another level.
I don't know what I'm
It
gonna do
makes
with
the
y'all.
thing shake. Brothers and sisters out there that's listening, that's the strategy and the wisdom of a lion. Most people don't know it's not his tiger strength and all that. It is, but his real strength is he digs a hole, and he puts his mouth in the hole, and his roar is so strong, within 25 feet, it causes a little tremor to the ground, and any animal around start, it gets its attention like, whoa, whoa. And by the time he starts coming up on you, he the real deal.
He actually digs a hole.
He absolutely digs a hole and put his mouth in there and
Yeah.
roar, and his roar
Into
causes
the
a
roar,
tremor.
into the
It
ground.
causes a tremor.
Trimmer. Yeah.
For 25 feet past.
Yeah.
That's why he's known as the king of the jungle. Don't nobody want no part, especially that male line.
Oh, well.
That male line ain't no joke. Now, that female line, since we on break, so I got to do a little teaching. That female line, she goes out and hunt. But if that line take too long,
pride.
the pride. But if that male with that big old hair around, that big old thick hair,
The mane.
when he come through, because the main one they usually have problem with is them hyenas. Them hyenas are tried 5 or 6 of them on one female lion. But I seen one time 3 or 4 of those female lions had about 25 or 30 of them at them. When that man came through, that big one came through there, he not only went in that crowd, Brother Kevin Cab, he went in that crowd and caught, I guess, the head. I don't know what
Yeah, that's what
and
he was.
moved him back and forth so many
Like
times.
a rag down.
Just like a rag down. And then you know what he did, man? He kicked his leg up and pissed on him. Oh,
No, he did.
I'm serious. He put it like, I said, oh, this is called, I'll never forget that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
So,
they,
brothers and sisters, we have a lot of fun here. We give a lot of information out. We got a real hot show. We're going to be talking about St. Louis County in a minute. I got a good article here on Ku Klux Klan, man.
What?
This is a big one here. And every week I want to give a little bit out on it. Starting today, I'll just give you the first page, maybe the second page on. But I tell you, they go into how they organize. How it first starts off, the first little reading, man. How many they have. You read just the first part where it said, the Ku Klux Klan role was an image that captured my imagination when I saw it as a youngster growing up in South Carolina. I witnessed the Klan rally, but I didn't think much about them until 25 years later when they started research. When I started researching the organization, the Ku Klux Klan, I learned had the distinct, let me put these glasses on while I'm doing it. Here it is, I'm good. Had three distinct waves.
Yeah.
The second wave in 1920 had 5 million active members.
Whoa.
Did you hear what I just said? This is a
5 million?
I'm just reading.
I know, go ahead. 5 million active members.
Active members, equal to the population of New York City at that time. 5% of the U.S. population at that time. The Ku Klux Klan rolled factories. Listen to this, brothers and sisters. Now this is heavy. The Klan roll factory in Buckhead neighborhood of Atlanta, Georgia, was so busy it became a 24-hour factory. 20,000 rolls were always on hand at the time to keep up with the demand. And it goes on. It's probably about 7, 8 pages. And it's deep. But they caught when I caught this, man, I said, oh yeah.
Now, where is
And
this
they-
paper from?
This is from.
Storm of the Shelter.
It's Saturday the 24th of the 21st. But brother gave it to me. He said,
By
"Hey,
Paul
Brother Shaheed,"
Rucker.
He said, Brother Shaheed, take your time and go through this. I read it twice, but I said, it's too much to read, but just that first part is enough, and how they are entrenched throughout America. How even then they were in every department. Every department. It ain't nowhere these white folks ain't at. They in the hospitals. This is where they was at then. No telling where they're at now with Donald Trump supporting help. They're in the hospitals, Brother Kevin Cab. They're in the courthouse. They're in the prosecutors. They at wherever you at. That's what they, especially in them jails. Like this one that in Bon Terre. I got a situation in Bon Terre. They got a highway called the Ku Klux Klan Highway. That's what they've named it as. K Highway for Ku Klux Klan. So you imagine your sons and your daughters in them jails. They've been controlled and dealt with by straight Ku Klux Klan. So don't go check on your loved ones if you don't want to.
Well, and here's the other piece, and I know
Oh, you
people
already? Okay.
people don't. Are we ready to go back on? Let's get it then. Let's get it, man. Quit fooling around. Let's get it. Count me down, dog.
All right, Mary, you got 22 minutes coming up in
Welcome back, St. Louis. You're listening to the Freeman Bosley Jr. Show on KTZ 1600 AM. Anthony Shaheed was just giving a little introduction to this treatise, I would say, on the inception and the ongoing efforts of the Ku Klux Klan, basically letting us know that at one point it was over 5 million members in the Ku Klux Klan.
That was in 1920, Mayor. And if I can just read this one little part.
1920, can you believe it?
It said the Ku Klux Klan, I learned, had three distinct waves. The second wave in 1920 had 5 million active members.
Active now, not just people done signed up. This is active.
Yeah. In other words, wherever they caught you at, you can get home. Equal to the population of New York at that time, or 5% of the United States population at that time. The Klan factory, now listen to this real good, brothers and sisters. The Klan's robe factory factory in Buckhead neighborhood of Atlanta, Georgia.
That's where black people live now.
Right now, and they need to know this history.
Yeah, they sure
was
should.
So busy, it became a 24-hour factory. They didn't, in other words, they never closed, Brother Boski. 20,000 robes were on hand at all times to keep up with the demand. The title of this work was called Storm in the Time of Shelter. It's based on a hymn by Mother Knowles, well from her years of a church organist. She played the piano.
Church organist, yeah.
Shelter in the time of storm. That's where they came from. But the bottom line is, these people were so strong, brothers and sisters, that at all times they had to have 20,000 robes already ready because they had so many members coming in. They couldn't keep up with the demand, so they couldn't say, we're going to take off, or we're going to work 5 days a week and be out 2 days. They couldn't be off 24 hours.
Yeah, that's something else.
And they still here. The problem is, that was in 1920. That's 100 years ago.
And these are the doctors, the lawyers, the law enforcement,
and they talk about this in this
the
article.
bankers and all of that. One of the persons, because I did a little bit of reading on this when I was back over this past November, it was this guy, David Stevenson. He was the Grand Master of the KKK, of the Ku Klux Klan, out of Indiana. And so what he did is he ended up getting arrested for assaulting a young woman. He took I believe she was a school teacher, a white woman, and they said he took her and had her on a train where he assaulted her multiple times. But
he said assaulted her. Tell me what you mean.
Sexually assaulted, raped her repeatedly.
Make sure we say it right.
Repeatedly. And from the research that I did, the only reason that she was able to get off that train, and it was almost a month that he had her on this particular train, is that she took some poison and got sick. And so they had to take her to the hospital. And while she was at that hospital, she died. And so he was prosecuted for that. Now, keep in mind that the 1920s was when the sororities and the fraternities had kind of, started developing here. And so all of that was taking place. This was the environment that was taking place when those sororities and fraternities were started. Now, this man, David Stevenson, thought that he was going to be acquitted because he was so connected to all of the politicians, right? And he was not acquitted. He ended up going to jail, and then he got angry, and he began to whistleblow and bring down. So that caused some division within the KKK, because he was like, you all should have acquitted me for that, because he said he was larger than the law.
Yeah. But not only that, what did white folks...
And they still feel larger than the law
sometimes.
sometimes.
They really do, but just to add to what you're saying, see, it makes some difference when they're doing something to other white women or white folks. Now, I believe no women are supposed to be disrespected, so I'm not saying that, but I want to keep it real. During the time, they was raping black women like it's going out of style. This is what they did. They could have a field day anytime they wanted to come in and have sex with a black woman, they could. That's why when I hear them talking about what they're doing in Afghanistan, it seems like these people don't forget whatever they're doing over there, they done learned it from these white folks over here. Whatever they saying that they doing to women over there, because they had a problem with even the white women here, and they had problems from day one. That's why they called it a white male-dominated society, because that's what it is. And they don't let white women get ahead of them on pretty much nothing. They work tirelessly. I mean, all day and all night to make sure they keep that white male-dominated society. So I'm just letting people know when I hear them talking about what they're doing in other countries, I tell everybody, relate to them the story of the white folks right here in America and how they brought us over in slave ships. So all of a sudden now they're concerned about women's rights. They ain't never worried about it because they broke up homes and had sex. At the age of 13, you had to bring your daughter to the white man to have sex with her, and if she fought them or scratched them, they would put red pepper in her vagina.
Oh my God!
I know the history of this. So when I start hearing somebody tell me about they're concerned about human rights, they're a damn lie. These white folks ain't concerned about no human rights nowhere. They violate human rights. They don't treat us like human beings. But all of a sudden now they spend $2 trillion somewhere. Because I seen on the front of the American newspaper they're going to bring about 1,000 of them here to St. Louis. And I'm tripping on how you bringing somebody here. You spend $2 trillion, 20 years in Afghanistan, but you don't have money for black people right here.
Right.
You tell us you can't find no money for us, but $2 trillion is a whole lot of ding, 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 ding for a long time. You know?
It is. Yeah,
That's
it
a
is.
lot.
Well,
I didn't mean to go off.
that whole thing with Afghanistan is really interesting, you know, because what I find most interesting is, like you say, the United States was over there for 20 years.
20 years.
Suppressing those people,
Supposedly.
keeping a lid on it with $2 trillion worth of money and equipment, and the United States announces that it's leaving, and within a week,
Yeah.
within 1 week,
1 week.
the Taliban, it flips.
Shook that whole
They
thing.
flipped the whole damn country
Yeah.
in a week.
Yeah.
That tells me that those people over there didn't really want the United States
No, hell
over
no.
there.
No, they didn't. The United
That
States,
they with the Taliban.
ain't no secret. Ain't
That's
no
what
secret.
it tells me. They with the Taliban because people keep saying, well, they don't want to fight. They don't want me, won't fight. Well, it's a reason for that.
That's right.
They don't want to fight because they don't believe in it.
No, they don't believe
They don't believe it. They believe that the Taliban should be in charge.
Yeah. And they don't.
And they are now.
And they don't think that the United States is going to be somebody that they can. Because one of the things those brothers look at, and always remember this, they look at what happened to us. I never forget when Jesse Jackson, Minister Farrakhan, and a few other black leaders went to get a brother out of Jordan. And when the brothers came in there, Minister Farrakhan and Jesse Jackson and the crew that went over there, Minister Akbar was with them. When they came over there, and it
Was
was
that the airplane pilot? No,
I'm not. I
okay.
can't remember exactly which one it was, Mary. But what I'm getting to is when he came in there, he said what he couldn't have on him is he seen black folks sitting over there. He said we got to let them go, but he said the main reason is because they seen black people and what black people had already been going through in America. People all over the world have seen how y'all hung us, how you done did everything, and then it's hypocritical for you to say you somewhere for 20 years. That's a long time. Think about if you got a son 20 years old, Sister Secretary, or a grandson, or anybody out here in the radio listening, or for 20 years you done pumped all this money over there, and then remember the Russians was over there 10 years before then. Not only did they whoop them, the United States running with their tail tucked. And it ain't just on no Biden. That's a lie. They trying to dress it on Biden. Not that I'm taking up for Biden, but this came up under Trump. Trump really cut this deal for them to get up out there. They got up out there no different from they did in Vietnam. They ran their behind out of Hanoi. They didn't want no problem with Ho Chi Minh. They seen at some point, and Dr. King told them that's why they killed Dr. King. That's why they had a problem with Muhammad Ali, because he said, I'm not going to, fight for you. Why are we fighting for somebody and we nonviolent here? If I'm going to be nonviolent here when they doing something to the secretary, they shooting black men down the street, Mike Brown and everybody else around the world, and now all of a sudden I can get and fly somewhere to go fight for you. Muhammad Ali said, them people ain't never called me no nigga. They ain't never called me. They didn't do me like that. So now I'm supposed to go fight for you because you got a problem. No, they worry about their vital interests. That's all they're concerned about. So the bottom line is, United States got a way to control the media. And remember, when you're hearing something, you're hearing what they saying happening. It ain't that because you done picked up the phone and talked to nobody.
It's not what's really going on.
Yeah, it ain't what's going on. All of a sudden now they love everybody and they're concerned about people's rights being violated. Show us here in America how much you care about somebody's rights and human rights and international rights, and constitutional rights. Then I'll believe all that. I don't believe nothing I see these white folks talk about.
Give us that dollar amount again. And did they say how they
$2 trillion.
And how did they spend that money? Like, what was?
Basically,
Basically, it's on weaponry. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Weapons. Matter of fact, they ran off and left.
They had
How
to.
much? What was it, billions of dollars of weapons they left there. Now they claim that they disabled them.
One of the brothers, Bosley, just hauled out $20 million worth of weaponry. They just
20
got
billion. It's not million.
20 billion.
Yeah.
Oh,
Now
that's
here,
really, now that's
they left airplanes. They left Hummers.
Yeah, they call themselves trying to bomb us.
They left ships.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bottom line,
Yeah, they left
Vietnam wasn't even this bad.
Well,
So the plan is not to go back and get these items and retrieve.
no, go back and get them. Should you go back? That Taliban gonna tear that ass up. You go back over there if you want to.
Well, I ain't going.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm not. Hey, they told me about the peaceful protest. I got hands up. Don't shoot.
Right. That's why this whole thing was out by August 31st.
And they told them too.
Yeah,
First they told us trying to see it a little longer. They told me it's not gonna be no little longer.
August 31st.
Brother Kevin, what they say?
Yeah.
How long?
Yeah. Now,
not long.
Yeah. Now we'll work with you. Now they said we'll work with you with the remainder of people that are still here. We're gonna respect it. But our 31st military got to be gone.
Yeah. If you're not, you're gonna wish you had.
Yeah, that's right.
They come with guerrilla warfare.
What you talking about? What you talking about?
And a lot of y'all don't like this kind of conversation because you keep your nose where it don't supposed to be. But I'm just keeping it real now. We're just giving you facts. 20 years, what they said in 20 years they spent $2 trillion. That's a whole lot of money to spend with someone. And my problem, I got to have a problem with that. Man, by their time
that's
we
999 billion times 2.
That's a whole lot of money, man. And then you still a little short with that. Because you said 999, you still got a percent on both times.
That's right.
So the bottom line is, Brother Bosley, they gone out and they done been humiliated.
Yeah.
And the whole world see that they've been pumped.
Yeah, well, they building it. The media and the United States can get around this. The media is building it as a retreat.
Yeah.
A retreat, not just they're not that they're leaving.
No.
Not that they're returning, they are retreating. Yeah. They're retreating.
What's the main group that they got that's supposed to be the most, when they have their fighters over there? The United States got a group of, not armed berets, but what do they call the...
You talking about the SEALs, aren't you?
The Navy SEALs.
Yeah.
The Navy SEALs say, shit, we're not going back over there. This is what the Navy SEALs say. No, but they said, we done ran into something. We used to have some real good stuff.
Did the SEALs say they wasn't going back?
That's what I heard. The SEALs say they the main one that they
they don't want to go back. They go back if they're told, but they don't want to go. Strong desire.
They hoping ain't nobody telling them to go back. That Navy SEAL said, now I'll say this and I'll close with this here, Mary. You don't want to fight against a people who love death more than they love life.
Yeah,
that's the last, and that's what they do. If you got suicide bombers,
you got suicide bombers
that are saying that if they could get away, they're not trying to get away. They are praying that night that they can be a martyr because they don't want their people to be under the United States rule. Whatever the United States got you thinking about here in America, that everything is okay. They don't think everything is okay.
That's
they
true.
don't think everything is okay.
That's true.
And I'm looking at the front of the American newspaper said Afghanistan community prepared to welcome wave of refugees, and it got them right on this front page. Brother Kerry Kev, if y'all can zoom in this for me a little bit here, showing that they're waiting and saying they're concerned about women's rights and all that kind of stuff. I can tell you one thing, they better not be waiting for these people to show some women's rights stuff because they don't believe in it. They say it, but they're hypocritical. They are hypocritical. They're the biggest hypocrites I've ever seen in the world. Because anytime you come and do what you did to black women for 400 years, and thought nothing about it, and sold us and broke up families, I have a real problem thinking that you're concerned about all of a sudden now you done changed. And if you did, you ain't changing for black folks.
Well, here's my point, my position on change. There's certain things about change that come about, but basic and fundamental things are ingrained in a person. You hear what I'm saying? This stuff, these actions, these tendencies on behalf of white people. And, I know they fight to try, a lot of them fight to try to overcome it. But it's very difficult for them to overcome it, and because it's in the DNA. And you saying guys don't know what he's talking about, but I'm gonna tell you, 10, 15 years from now, they're gonna come out and say that prejudice is hereditary.
Yeah, they're going to say that.
They're going to come out and say it. They're going to come out and say the way that people act and the way that people treat people is hereditary. So you got that kind of gene in you because it was cultivated. Now I'm not going to call people dogs, okay?
No.
But think about this. Yeah, think about people who are breeding dogs. You know, you got certain people that breed dogs
Correct.
to do certain things.
Correct.
You got certain people that breed dogs to fight.
Correct.
You know, and they'll tell you, well, his daddy was a fighter, and his daddy before him was a fighter, and his grandpa, his daddy was a killer. You know, so all of these things are hereditary.
Yeah.
You know, these are hereditary traits, and the same thing with prejudice, and the same thing with hatred toward black people. It's hereditary.
Well, they gotta
you know,
say it, right.
and one of my favorite scenes. One of my favorite scenes is in this movie called Lincoln, and you got Abraham Lincoln,
Yes, sir.
who's a Republican,
Correct.
talking to Senator Stevenson, and Stephen is the
Is that
leader.
Adlai Steven?
No, not Adlai Steven, but Senator Stevenson is the lead Republican for trying to give black people their rights, okay? Because they're talking about trying to pass the 13th Amendment, which abolishes slavery. So Lincoln is saying, well, look, you know, we got to go slow, you know, in order to get this amendment passed. And I really need you to work with me. We're going to oppose each other during the course of time, but on this particular issue, let us go slow. Stevenson said, the hell with it. He said, the hell with it. He said, white people cannot stand the thought of sharing this country's abundance of wealth with black people. He said, it's 1863. He talking to him. He talked to him 1863, 64. He's telling Lincoln that.
You done lost your mind.
But this is a white man that he like John Brown. He really up and going.
Yeah.
But he knows in his heart
Yeah.
how white people feel about black people. But you know what I really found out is at the end,
Oh, wait. I got to look
he
at
was
that part.
at the end he was living with a black woman.
No wonder he was talking about like
Yeah,
that.
so he know she educated him.
Yeah.
She educated him, but it was
what
really
it was then.
it was really interesting to see that dialogue between these two men.
Yeah.
Although they're acting, but they're telling truthful
Telling you,
tidbits
well,
of what was going on at that
It's
time.
still going on. You got 80 million people, Brother Kev. You got 80 million people at Bosley. That they saying they ain't worried about none of this stuff. We talking they got the votes. They ain't worried about none of this stuff. We talking about morals and this ain't right. White folks don't look at it like that. They say what happened up there January 6th. Stop talking about that. We got
That's right.
votes.
That's right. Call the
We don't give a
question.
damn what done happened.
That's right.
If we got the votes, we ain't
Yeah,
talking about
that's
what's right.
Call the question. That's why white people don't make a whole lot of noise.
No.
You know, they don't do like a hooping and hollering and demonstrating, acting all crazy and storming places.
Then we
'cause
got the votes.
They got the votes.
If
You
we
know,
got
they-
the votes,
they,
right.
they say, all right, just let them get it out. You know, let them get it out, ride it on out. It'll be over soon, and we just going to do it. That's how they deal.
So they're emotional.
That's how that
they-
goes. They know that we are a very colorful people. They know that we are a very emotional people. So
easy to
they
forgive.
they allow us that.
And even the
you know
even-
they
easy to
they
forgive.
allow us that because they know at the end of the day
They got
they're
the
gonna
votes.
do what they want to do.
They're gonna do, and they don't care nothing
Yeah,
about us.
they're gonna do what
You know,
they wanna
Michael
do.
Jackson had a song. He said, "All I really know is that they don't really care about us."
Right.
He said that.
Yeah, and now to bring it down into some terms that people should be able to understand, I take the state of Missouri. You know, with all the people in the state of Missouri, you know, we got the state is only 11% black. All right. So you got people that are storming the Capitol. You got folks going up to Jeff City. They marching and calling on this and wanting to be against that. And at the end of the day, black people are just 11% of the population. So you know what? And see, we think that in many instances, we think that white people are conspiring against us. We think white people trying to figure out how to stop us from getting this and stopping us from getting that. But it's worse than that.
Sure is.
Because white people ain't even thinking about us.
That's even worse.
You ain't even a brother. You
Yeah,
ain't
the
a thought. You hear me?
That's even
You ain't a
worse.
thought, because at the end of the day, they do what they gonna do.
Yeah. They got the
Now,
votes.
we can try to get America's conscious. Yes, we can. And we can try to press the envelope on certain things. And yes, we should. But at the same time,
Talking about
we
reality.
need to understand
Reality.
that we are only 11% of the population in the state of Missouri. And then if you talk about the 330 odd million people that are in the country, well, about 12% of that. Black people only 12% of the whole country. So you have to put this stuff in its proper perspective
Yes, yes.
when you run out here acting crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I heard one white boy say about 20-some years ago, he said, when we get through talking, when we get through doing all that, then we got the Supreme Court. We got our Ku Klux Klan everywhere.
Yeah.
So it don't make no difference what y'all come up with. It's up to us to vote. And then we can always have a Clarence Thomas or somebody around. And this is me talking. I'm not talking for nobody else. Or Clarence Harmon. Always, I got to bring them in. You gotta have a Clarence somewhere.
Right, you gotta have a Clarence.
And Clarences know what to do. They do what I told you and go where I showed you. When I tell you to jump, you don't ask me how high. When we get there, you're gonna know it. And I need you buck dancing, buck jumping, butt sniffing, butt kissing, diamond ring wearing, chicken finger licking. We shall overcome singing. I'm gonna give you some
Handkerchief head,
biscuit
Yeah.
eating, chicken dinner.
That's
and
right.
You're supposed to be happy.
Yes, Lord. Yes,
know,
Lord.
so-
And with that, I think it's time for a break. Huh?
I think what you
I think it's time for a break. Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to the Freeman Bosley Jr. Show on KTZ 1600. Hallelujah AM. We'll be right back. Keep it on lock. Quit playing. Oh!
Brothers and sisters, mine's okay. But two things, I'm going to get something started while we're on break, Brother Bosley. Watch this here, Kevin. Tell me if I get them right. One thing he don't like you talk about is marbles, which he don't know how to shoot. See, I know how to get started. He don't want nobody say nothing about fishing. It's certain things.
Yeah, that's right. That's
See, I know how to hit his fight. See, everybody
That's
don't know
right.
how to make him move.
That's right.
But if I start telling him about how he don't roar, keep on lock the
Yeah,
playing. See,
yes,
he gonna
sir.
stop playing.
Yeah, that's right.
That ain't brush
Yeah.
shade. But if you talk about marbles, and one day, you know what? I'm gonna bring some marbles here because he don't even know where to go get no marbles.
I'm telling you,
here.
don't do it.
See, now me and him have a
Don't-
hell of a
don't-
relationship.
don't
I'm gonna
do
tell you
it.
what's gonna happen both.
Don't do it.
Are y'all listening now?
Yeah, don't
I'm
do
on
it.
record, brothers and
Yeah.
sisters out here.
Don't
when
do
I
it.
bring the marbles,
Don't
we're
do
gonna
it.
get right down here on the floor.
Don't do it.
And I'm gonna set it up just
Don't
like
do
this.
it. I'm gonna send you
And
home.
when I do it like this, I'm
I'm
gonna
gonna-
say hands
I'm
down
gonna- I'm
to the
s-
ground,
I'm sending you
both
home.
fingers flat, the
Uh-huh.
hand you're shooting with. When I show him how to take a fish net, I'm gonna have to show him how to really throw it. See, I got Mary Bosley's attention, y'all. See, I know.
Don't do it. I'm saying don't do it because you know what? Everything goes in dead man.
Oh yeah, come on now. He's talking marble talk. y'all.
Everything
See,
goes
somebody don't know what we
in
talking-
dead. No, well,
Yeah.
the vast majority, most people, the
Both
vast
said what-
majority
both
don't know
said
none
what
of
he
that.
talking
That
about.
everything goes in dead man. See, dead man was a game of marbles, Boski. You square off, you draw you a square ring,
Once you do that,
and you say, how many we playing?
Yeah.
They say one back, two back, three back. When they say one back, two back, that means that's how many you put in the ring.
Oh, yeah.
Where everybody put in 3 marbles in the ring, all right?
Calm
So
it down.
that's right. And then they say, well, what kind of game we playing? Dead man.
a whole
That's
lot
what
of
that.
them, a lot of them are gonna
Dead
say that.
man.
Yeah.
And everybody knows when they call that out, dead man, everything goes
Ain't
in
nothing
dead
off the
man.
table.
That's a hell of a game.
Ain't nothing off the table.
Ain't nothing off the table.
But he done been around a few people talking about it. That's why he learned. So, brothers, we have fun, too. We don't just always be, because they be saying, man, they be hitting some topics.
Yeah.
But one thing y'all know about when you're looking at us, you ain't got to worry about we going to skate around something. If we're going to be talking about keep hope alive or how come we can't get along, you ain't going to see if we're talking about take a Negro out to week lunch. We're not going to talk like that. We talk like free black men.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what makes this show hot. People are tired of turning on these shows, seeing people who can't speak with a free voice about what's happening. This is what this media is supposed to be. It's supposed to be freedom of speech. But they got them where they remind me of a horse with a bright on his mouth that they control the reins and he don't know what to do. Or remind me of the movie The Godfather, man, where they got a puppet on the string and they if I want me to go this way, they make me go this way. They tilt me to the left. If they want me to go this way, they tilt me to the right. It's like a puppet. Hallelujah 1600 with Mayor Bosley, with Kevin Kerr, with Brother Boski, and with Sister Secretary and Brother Shaheed. Ain't no buck dancing going on.
Okay. It's the real deal.
Ain't no buck dancing. I never
It's the
knew how to
real
do
deal.
ham bone. I never heard it. I seen them used to do that. Ham bone and do all this stuff up here. All
Yeah.
this stuff. I absolutely just see old men doing that stuff. And be sitting around with a harmonica playing and one of them with the
Well,
beat.
you got to remember, black people used to have to entertain themselves.
Ain't that something?
Yeah, they used to have to entertain themselves to take their mind off of the treatment and the bad things. That's why black people sing. You know,
You're right. That's right.
That's why black people sing a lot. You know, because it's hereditary. But the singing was what the slaves used to do right after they got a chance to. At sundown, you know, and white people used to. It would be amazing to them how you could drive a person and whoop them and beat them during the day, and then at night when you stopped it, they start breaking into song.
Ain't that something?
They break into song and they start entertaining themselves, and they do that to forget. It was a way of forgetting about what you've been through during that day.
Ain't that something?
We coming back, man. Come on, quit fooling around. Let's do this dance. All right.
Brothers and sisters, thank you for being patient. We just cover until we get back on the ready. We get ready to come back on.
Okay. 2020. All right, then. Welcome back, St. Louis. Welcome back. You're listening to the Freeman Bosley Jr. Show on KTZ 1600. Hallelujah. I'm joined with Anthony Shaheed here on talking about various subjects. One of the things that I wanted to hit you with is this damn trolley's back.
All right, don't tell me.
Yeah, it
What we
is.
just talking about?
Yeah, the damn trolley's back.
In U City?
Yeah, in U City. Now, after all of this, we put it out of business in 2019, y'all. We put it out. We thought Joe Edwards and his cronies would be gone, but they aren't. Now they back. They've been back there working in the background. Yes, they have. Working in the background, trying to figure out how to get it back up. After all of the accidents on Delmore, after people coming down the street as being as tight as it was.
Wow,
you see what I'm saying? After the lousy, dismal ridership is back. See, they just won't give up. They're coming back for, was it $1.2 million from asking for that from the East-West Gateway Coordinating Council. What you would think that if the damn thing wasn't working, that you just go sit down somewhere.
Yeah, they don't.
No. They're back. They're back. This trolley, they're trying to bring it back. But you know what? East-West Gateway Coordinating Council consists of 15 members of the region. It's like the Metropolitan Planning Authority. They get money from the federal government. They get a lot of money, you know. So me and Buzz Westfall were on there because I was the mayor. He was the county executive.
I remember that.
And so that means Tashara and Paige are on there. All right. Now, the good thing about this, though, is Mayor Jones is against the trolley. So now any one person I could imagine could make a motion to pull any one of these items. So it's about 15 projects that are getting funded this round, all right? And the trolley is one of them. It's about $23 million, $23.6 million that's available. And they got 15 projects that are asking for the majority of the money. But Mayor Jones does have an opportunity to speak out against the funding. And since here's what Buzz Westfall and I used to do. Before the meeting, me and Buzz Westfall would get together, and he said, well, Freeman, I don't need a whole lot of stuff out here in the county. He said, what is it that you want? Wow. What are you interested in? And I tell him, he said, well, let's go in there and get it then. Let's go in there and get it. And then at the next meeting, he'd say, well, Freeman, I was with you. He won't remind me. Freeman, I was with you when you went and asked for that money. He said, but I'm looking for a little something this time. He said, I'm looking for a little something this time. I just need you to be with me. And I'd be with him. Yeah. I would be with him. So there's nothing in the city that the mayor would be for, that the other members would be against, because it's in the city.
Okay.
You see,
Yeah.
city projects, anything
So
going on
no-brainer.
in the city,
So
that's the
no-brainer.
mayor's call. That's your call.
So no-brainer.
Just like in the county, that was Buzz Westfall's
Yes.
call. If Buzz Westfall wanted, it's done. That's the way it was. If he wanted it, it's done. So if Tashara Jones speaks out against this, which I hope she does,
Would be a no-brainer.
it should be dead.
Should be a no-brainer.
It should be dead. So who gonna carry the water for him? Joel was not a voter. He's not a member of this committee. He can't come down. He may come down there and look while they voting against him.
Yeah.
You know, but he can't initiate anything down here at this meeting.
He shouldn't
You
be
know what I'm
able to. I
saying?
would tell you,
And
boy,
he
they
shouldn't
find-
be able
they
to.
find
They need to
Negroes.
send him packing.
Yeah, they really do.
They need to send him packing. You know what I'm saying? $1.6 million for a damn project that went into the toilet. Come on now.
If black folks
That-
even tried to even
that's
think
too
to
much
do it,
playing.
But you know something, Mary? If the shoe was on the other foot, a black person knowing that he messed up the way that boy messed up, they wouldn't. Those thoughts wouldn't even.
Wouldn't have
come
the
in their
heart.
head.
Wouldn't have the heart. But see, he rich. This ain't nothing but it's a little project for him.
Yeah.
And that's what they do. They have little projects that they get in behind and things like that, not even knowing or caring
No.
what the impact is on this community. You hear what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
You know, it's plenty of other things that they could do. Oh, let me give you this. There are plenty of other things that they could do with that money. Now, look, here's another thing. I mentioned that they got 15 projects that are trying to get $23.6 million. Somebody needs $1 million, somebody else wants $890,000, somebody else. So it all adds up to 23.6. So, all right, but check this out. Okay, out of the projects that have been listed, there's a project called Brick Line Greenway. Many of you all haven't heard of Brick Line Greenway, but Brick Line Greenway is a Great Rivers Greenway project that's requesting $4 million of this 23.6. They want to build a path from Sarah Street up to Grand Avenue.
Wow.
They want to build a path from 7th Street up to Grand Avenue. You know, that
nice
kind of
little
makes
stretch.
sense, huh?
Yeah, that's a nice
because
little stretch.
hopefully if you get to Grand, you can come north.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
If you can get to, well, you already north, but you can come further north. You can come further north.
real
All right.
north.
Now here's the deal. This project, the one that they're requesting $4 million for North St. Louis, scored the lowest.
Because it's for us.
Thank you.
That's the,
Yeah, this project, causes for black people, scored the lowest. You see what I'm saying? Now, how could this project score lower? Huh? Listen to me. How could this project score lower than the damn trolley?
That's deep.
Now, the trolley is in the toilet.
Ain't that
You hear what I'm
something?
saying?
Yeah.
And
Clear.
the trolley is in the toilet, and people still peeing on it, and they come back and want to give that project a better score than the Brick Line Greenway project. See, something's wrong with that picture. You see, that's why I'm saying you have to do what you're gonna do, cause you wait on these people to try to do what's right. See, they'd rather be white than
right.
do what's right.
You're right, man.
You have to remind them.
Yes, sir.
You have to remind them. My daddy used to. We used to have dogs in every now and then, and the little puppy. My father would always, if the dog's messing up, that my daddy would want to take the dog's nose and rub
Put it
it
in there,
in
make
the
sure-
nose, and then try to make him understand that he's supposed to put it on the paper. Well, the dog the connection is not that quick for the dog to associate.
It takes a little time.
Yeah, the dog is not the connection is not that quick where the dog can associate you putting his nose in the boo boo and then putting him on the paper. All right, he can't make
I
that
remember
connection.
that. I
All
remember
right,
that.
but they tell you if you just after you feed the dog, if you watch him, he gonna move around.
Right.
All right. And if he start moving around real fast, that means he getting ready to try to do something.
Yes, sir.
So at that point, before he drops it,
Yes.
you take him, pick him up, and put him on the paper.
paper.
All right. Then he gonna get off the paper, start running around, start trying to squirm and grin. But then you see him, you
Bring
pick
back.
him up, put him right back on the paper. Eventually, he makes the connection
Right.
of wanting to try to do something
On the
and the
paper.
paper.
Yeah.
So then he learns how to do it on the paper. Some dogs learn that just like that. Others, not so quick. But I'm telling you, sometimes with white people, you have to rub their nose in it for them to understand it.
Yes.
You hear what I'm saying? And this particular project is one in which you have to rub
Ain't no
you
secret.
you have to rub
yeah.
Joe Edwards' nose
Yes.
in this
Yeah.
to let him know it's no.
Well, you know,
let him know it's no.
what I was talking about in this paper here about the Ku Klux Klan, even the ones that's not Ku Klux Klan, they come up in that mindset. They don't even think that they got a problem. They don't even think what they're doing is wrong. They're in another world, and they really don't understand what we're going through. And as you said earlier, they don't really care. And because you add all those things together, you put all these ingredients together, you get what you see that we deal with. And that's one of the reasons, just kind of switch, just to take why I believe our Lieutenant Colonel Troy Dahl is having so much problem
God.
in St. Louis County because of that same mindset. You got to remember, U City ain't that for all that's county. And that same mindset, and what they really ain't feeling good about, Mary, they really ain't feeling good about a black man that's looking like a black man. He ain't
No,
coming
a
with
real black man.
A real black man, and then a real black man to have the audacity to say, you did something to me and I'm going to file a lawsuit against you. It's like, who the hell you think you are? We done did the stuff to a whole lot of black folks out here, and they ain't did a damn thing. Now all of a sudden you seem like you got a problem with what we doing out here in St. Louis County. And not only St. Louis County, man, Clayton. See,
Yeah.
Clayton is a place where you're supposed to do what I told you and go where I showed you. When I tell you to jump, you don't ask me how high. When you get there, I'll inform you. And the mere fact that they're there and they're doing the things that they're doing to his brother, I'm so thankful that this brother is not going to roll over. He's not going to take no patting on the head. He's not going to tell me he thinks this is okay, that he's going to stand up and fight. And I'm going to tell you, it's going to be a problem if they think that they're going to skip over this brother again. And I'm telling him, if I get a chance to talk to him, I'm going to tell him, brother, don't you drop that lawsuit. Don't let them tell you about drop the suit and then we'll make you chief. Now, you're going to make me a chief and you're going to give me some of that money. You know why? Because I just heard they got 6 right now as we speak. I could be corrected if I'm wrong. 6 racial discrimination lawsuit against Sam Page right now as we speak. That's what I'm hearing. Now, I'm going to reach out to somebody next week to get somebody on. I'm not sure we can get somebody on to come because I don't want to just throw things out. I want to make sure I know what I'm talking about.
Yes, sir.
But I'm going to reach out to some of the people on that council, but I'm 99.9 sure that they said right now, because Sam Page got that kind of Ku Klux Klan mentality. And this is me speaking. I ain't speaking for nobody else. This is my opinion of just being around him, seeing him and watching him, and how he sit and use whoever, how he used Hazel Irvin. And all while he was running for office, she was the best thing since apple pie. Apple pie wasn't as good as she was. And as soon as he got in there, he came at her every which way she could. And I'm just telling you what I see. I can't help that I see this shit with St. Louis County and how they deal with our people.
Yeah.
They deal with us different. They sit and said, what was the lady named Mary, whatever, that used to be the chief of police out there? She said she
Mary
didn't know.
Barton. Yeah,
Mary
I'm
Bar-
looking at it right now.
She said she didn't know nothing about racism. She didn't see that. And which guy said it too? This guy, new guy out there.
The new chief,
yeah, the intern,
that's
Gregory-
coming in.
Gregory,
I was trying to find it. I was trying to find the article here.
It's
Sister
Gre-
Felicia, see if you can
It's
find
Gregory
the
something, but the
new
bottom line,
chief in
yeah,
St. Louis
he
County
reminded me of
Police
Harmon.
Department.
Harmon said when he was in there, he didn't know nothing about no racism.
Yeah.
While he was around there, and I don't know why he couldn't have. Hey, he had Lakeshaw and them in there.
Yeah.
You know, and Lakeshaw and them was putting drugs
You
and
know
dope
why?
on.
You know why? Because it was okay with him. See, that's why people like that don't find a problem with it and don't see anything wrong with it. It's because it's okay. It's okay with them.
Well, and that's why they call them handkerchief heads.
Yeah, that's what. That's
Handkerchief-
right.
handkerchief
Yeah,
heads.
It's okay with mealy mouth.
Mealy mouth.
You see that? It's okay with. It doesn't bother. You know they say, Freeman. You know, don't worry about it, son. Oh yeah, okay, I'm okay. Y'all going.
Two wrongs don't make no right.
That's right. You know,
God don't like ugliness.
Yeah.
Is that what you want?
This is one that's.
We looking
No.
for the
this
guy
is
that's
the new
that's-
guy, the incoming guy.
Yeah,
That's
the black
what we're
guy
trying
or
to find.
Oreo guy.
Yeah, it's okay with them. That's why.
Yeah.
That's how come they don't have a problem with it. You hear what I'm saying?
And that's anytime a black man, all he got to do is say, hey, you know, we're working on the problem. But yes, we have problems out here. There's problems everywhere. But as long as I'm being the intern chief of police, this is what I'm going to do. And I'm going to hold everybody responsible. And we got some bad actors, but I tell you for a fact, we're going to straighten out. You don't sit and cover for them. Covering for a person don't help that person.
No,
He's
it
supposed to say, in St. Louis County, you know good and well what's been happening out here. He don't have to attack Sam Page. He don't even have to say his name. He can just say, you know, they're going to be talking about him on Mary Bosley, so Sam Page going to get his hit, you know. But I'm going to tell you that the people that's in authority over the years, what they have let go, because I know who Ron Battelle was, and Ron Battelle is now. I know who Chief Cheeks was. I know all those guys there.
We got him. Yeah.
Oh, he got. Well, look how he
Kenneth
smiled.
Gregory.
Kenneth
Gregory. Kenneth Gregory is the new chief of police. Now they say he joined the department in 1979. So that's over 40 years.
And he don't know nothing about.
Well, first of all, over 40 years, I have never heard of him.
yeah, that's bad.
Yes, it is.
That's real bad.
Yeah, it's terrible as a matter of fact. I mean, how you gonna be someplace for 40 years and ain't nobody heard of you before? See, here's the other piece
That's a
to this.
problem, man.
Here's the other piece to that. What has he led? You hear what I'm saying? What effort has he? What initiative has he undertaken? You see, like on the other hand, Troy Doyle.
Yeah, Troy. That's
That name rings.
whenever you talk about
Yeah,
him, that's
that name ring. People know who Troy Doyle is.
but he's been consistent. He's been working.
And if they haven't known, and if they don't know, they've heard of him.
Yeah.
Particularly in North County.
Check his track record.
You hear what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
When there are problems,
Troy Doyle.
Black people cut up, and so they want to know, well, who can we send? who gonna go over there and talk to him? Who gonna go over there and deal with it? It would be Troy Doyle.
Yeah.
That's the one they gonna march out to go at least try to see
ain't no
if he
secret.
can quell it and get to the bottom of it.
Because if anybody can do it,
anybody can do it.
it's gonna be
he
him.
can, and there's no need to summon up people that the people don't know.
Why would you do that?
So they send Troy Doyle. He was the go-to guy. Anytime there's a problem in the St. Louis County Police Department dealing with the African American community, and also probably in other parts of the community, he was like a troubleshooter of sorts.
He was a troubleshooter.
And still is.
Yeah.
But see, they passed him over with a Negro.
Yeah.
Because they couldn't come back white this time.
No, because if they know it's a problem.
They couldn't come back white this time because it would have just smacked of discrimination. It would have smacked of prejudice. It would have smacked of racism, and at the same time, it would have added fuel to his lawsuit.
Yeah,
He's got a lawsuit. Remember that.
Without any hesitation, you're right. But what they had to do when they had problems in their jail at the Justice Center, all those deaths, because we've talked about all the deaths that was occurring in the St. Louis Justice Center in the county. Guess who they sent? Troy Doyle. They had to say what? Because it was going. We was talking about, but every station was talking about, because every time you look up, somebody was dying in that St. Louis County Justice Center.
Yeah.
And when they had to send somebody to do a troubleshoot, that's what they called it, a troubleshooter. Mm-hmm. He had to be the troubleshooter to go there, and it didn't take him long to get that thing, whereas it was halfway right.
Yeah.
You know. So all I'm saying is what you just saying. I'm veggie off from what you're saying. You're veggie back in. That when problems came up, it was Troy Doyle. When we was out there protesting, if Troy Doyle came out there, we respect him.
Absolutely.
If that damn Belmer came out there, it was gonna be a hot night that night.
And he wasn't coming out to head scratching,
right.
foot shuffling.
No.
He was chinning and grinning.
No.
He coming to man to man.
Yeah, and when he said
Man to
something,
man.
I'm gonna tell you something else I liked about Colonel Troy Doyle. When we was out there, if he gave you his word, he kept it.
Yeah.
And that's
right.
all people
That's
want.
it.
If you say you're gonna do something, you do it.
Might not like it.
Yeah, but it was it.
Yeah,
You know,
that's
but
it.
what I started seeing is, like I said, these county police, and remember, because I ain't going to let y'all get this off. We're not against police. Because you always make that announcement. You know,
And we
they
ain't against,
anti-police.
we ain't against all white people either.
No, we ain't. We just keep it. But the
okay.
truth. But Jesus said in John 8:32, "Know you the truth, and the truth will set you free." So all we doing is saying facts.
That's right.
Now, if you got a problem with
remember, my daddy said some people don't want to be confused with the facts. Now they don't want it.
How I
But
go about pounding the table? Help me with that.
They don't want it, but we got to give it to them.
How did that go about? If you ain't got the right pound the
They
table or
say
something?
if the facts are on your side, pound the facts. If the law is on your side, pound the law. If neither the facts or the law is on your side, pound the table.
I like
That's
that.
what black people do. Yes.
I got to write that down. I like that.
Pound
now.
the table.
So
Yeah.
we pound the table. We got the facts and everything about
Yeah.
Troy Dawson. And the only reason I'm pushing them like that, we're not against police, and I'm with good police. I got a problem against bad police, and I just see them all over. I see this guy in St. Louis City. I've been talking about him for the longest. Sergeant Todd Ross. I'm talking about. He was the only person, Mayor, of all the time I was attacking Lakeshore with facts. Sergeant Todd Ross was the only person who called saying, "Why am I bothering his friend? Why am I?"
Oh, he said that to you?
Yeah, well, he didn't say it to me. He texted himself. I didn't even
Who
address
is he
him.
texting to? Oh, you talking about on the Gin Dorm and all this
Yeah,
other
he
stuff
said-
on the
yes.
publications?
He put out asking me like, "Why?" In other words, like, this is a good man, and why are you bothering,
Yeah.
knowing that this man had been putting drugs and dope on black people for years, Lieutenant Colonel? It was only this handkerchief-head Negro,
Yeah.
and I don't know if he had a handkerchief on that time or not. But I'm just telling you, I never even had white folks to come and say that they was going to defend them. So I think it's
It's time for a break.
Yeah, I think it's time for a break
All
on
right.
that one.
You got it real, ladies and gentlemen. You got it real. Another scoop of the truth. It's like, for some of you, it's like castor oil, ain't it? Say, you just don't want it. You just don't want it. But that's why we're here, to give it to you anyway. You're listening to the Freeman Bosley Jr. Show on KTZ 1600 AM. Keep it on lock. Quit playing. Playing. Ho! Oh!
Brothers and sisters, we keep it real. Brothers and sisters, I appreciate you, what you're doing, but I'm asking all of my followers and people that's listening to us out here, period. Call somebody right now and say, "Hey, y'all been saying y'all tired of hearing people when they talk, they melting it down and they keeping hope alive." These brothers are giving facts. You might not like what we're saying. My brother just said castor oil. They had some other stuff called cod liver oil.
Oh, God, yeah.
Yeah, that stuff there was so nasty that it made, Brother Kev, you remember, it's like, it was so oily.
Oh, it's thick.
It was thick, and then they had some other stuff called Father John and Serpent Blackjaw. When they gave you about 2 or 3 of them that night, you might not didn't like it, but the next morning, you're going to be well, because you didn't want to take no more. That's the Boski looking like, what the hell you talking about?
My ex-wife used to tell me about her mom and daddy giving her Father John.
Oh, hey, man, that was real stuff there.
Hey, when they bought out that bottle of Father John, people started, there's about 8 kids in the house.
You get
They run this way, that way.
hey, man.
But mom and daddy say, we going to get somebody.
I tell you
we
what.
going to get somebody.
You damn near got well just looking at the bottle.
Oh, heal you.
If you and I'm gonna tell you, when they
It'll
really
heal
want
you.
to get you straight, they get that big tablespoon, not no teaspoon.
Oh, yeah.
And guess what they do? They give you 2 of them.
Have the guests come back.
They give you some like cod liver oil, some castor oil, and then they might give you some Serpent Blackjaw. When they got through that next morning, if you wasn't well, you're gonna be telling, "I'm ready to go to school. I'm good." No, you might need to. No, Mom, I'm good. I'm good. Because, but the bottom line is, y'all might not like this castor oil, but this is a healing for people who hate themselves.
Yeah.
Right now, you got a Stockholm syndrome.
Well, they don't
And
know
you
they
can't
hate themselves.
They don't know it.
They don't know they hate themselves. They don't know they dislike themselves.
Damn, that's
They-
another problem,
right,
man.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
That's a
It's
big problem.
Yeah, they have not internalized it to that extent.
Well, what about if it's self-hatred? You think they would know if I said self-hatred?
No, they think it's somebody else that you're talking about.
Whoa.
But that's okay. We still have to put it out there so that people can understand exactly
Wow.
what it is. But you're right. You're describing it in the proper terms.
This medicine is so important that we're giving that we have to give that, because I'm telling what I can't stand is Negroes playing like they black and they not black.
Mm-hmm.
I'm serious. I can't stand black people playing like they love black people, but they can be bought for little or nothing. The religious term for it in the Bible, in Ezekiel, the 18th chapter, as they call them harlots. prostitutes. It's the same as saying a prostitute, or they call it whoredom. And whenever you can see, that's why anytime I see a religious man like that, it's a problem with me. When I don't care who I see like that, but when you start seeing a person who's saying they men of God, they men of the cloth, and you can see that they can vow and they won't speak what God is saying. I don't care whatever God say, they supposed to be saying, but they can just about in any city, including St. Louis, they can damn near call some of those clergy coalition, not all of them, it's a whole lot of good pastors. I know a lot of them, but so a lot of them they ain't. And y'all know I'm telling the truth, that they can bow and they ain't got to never worry about hearing no religious talk or truth to power. They ain't gonna hear none of that stuff from them.
Are we ready to come back on now? What was it? All right then. Well, we probably need to get because Felicia's
I
going to
just
take
saying
this
that.
next segment.
Okay, you want to tell her to
Felicia
come on
has a
in
guest,
with
yeah.
our guest?
Yeah.
Brothers and sisters, give us just 1 minute. Don't leave though, man.
Huh?
Listen, now I need to leave. No, just don't leave. Yeah.
I'm sit here and listen to you.
Yeah. So, brothers and sisters, just be patient with us. We're hitting a lot of stuff. You know, I like to keep information out. We talked about the category 4 with this. How do you pronounce? Is it Ida? How do you pronounce this name?
It's
in this
Ida?
one? Is it Ida?
Yeah.
Okay, hurricane. But some of them say some of them called it Hurricane Ida. It's IDA,
well,
but
well, we know it's a hurricane.
we definitely know
That's
that.
one thing for sure.
And we talked about, I want to talk about at some point, voluntary jail too, Mary Bosley. We're having a major problem with some of the Muslim brothers up there, that where they're absolutely saying their prayers, how they are being maced, and how that same group up there, which I refer to as Ku Klux Klan, absolutely where they're in there saying prayer. You know, when people are praying, you don't come in. It's even like in the church, if a pastor's praying, you usually have some women outside the door, and they'll wait till the pastor come, and if somebody come in and said, no, just can't go in there right now, they're praying. Not only did they come in there when they were praying, the brothers and sisters, but the brothers, they came in there while they was praying and attacked them. One of the brothers that everybody know a lot about, a brother named Reginald Clemens, from the Chain of Rocks incident. Not only did they sit and take that brother and 7 other brothers and deal with them like that, it was beyond terrible.
Yeah.
So I see some of our guests are coming in, Mary. Our guests are coming in, brothers and sisters, so be patient with us. I see my young brother is here. My young warrior is here. So we will be starting very shortly. Okay. Hey, my sister. I'm doing good, seeing you. Who's this young man? Boy, you done grew up, young man. Boy, you done grew up.
told him that.
Boy, you and look good and strong as I don't know, strong as an ox. I mean, strong as an hey, sister. I'm talking about strong as an ox. We're live. We're live, but we'll be current. Come on now. We live on 4 or 5 different. Okay, and can we shut that door
They can't
if
see
you can?
Is Mary coming in?
No, Mary gonna take that. And if y'all want to go live, once you go live too, brother, so because we got all kinds of stuff. Okay.
You do what now?
Oh, no, it's not necessary.
We got, yeah. No, this, not, Kevin, I want to get started, so I don't want to worry about she can lean in like she said.
Yeah.
It's time. I don't want to stop. I want to go and get this segment on. I appreciate that. Thank you very much, brothers. But we can share mics. It ain't nothing but and I need everybody speaking directly into this mic. And just so you know, and I'm not sure if you told me, Sister Secretary, this comes on Saturday. So even though we're live here, people understand that we're taping. We're talking as if it's Saturday morning, so we'll come back saying good morning. So whatever you want to talk about, it's okay. But just remember, it's Saturday morning here. Okay? Oh, we clear?
My name is Byron Seals.
What is it?
Byron Seals.
You know Byron. What are you talking about? Byron is
Seals.
everybody know, but that's his youngest brother.
Yeah.
Yes.
What's Mom's last name?
Yes. You're going to speak direct when I say, just like if you see, y'all knows me when you're speaking into this mic. Are y'all looking at me? Byron. I want your mouth this close to that mic. That way you can hear it. And when you flip it to her, you'll do the same thing. Okay. So we just got.
If I have to be, it's
Yeah.
really about them. I'm just
Yeah.
bringing them into that.
So you're gonna flip it to Sister
Yeah,
Secretary, and she's gonna really kind of. I'll dip in when I need to because I know Darren very well.
Yeah.
Okay, let's give a countdown. Okay, 22 minutes. Okay.
You have to lean into this mic. Okay.
Okay.
All right, all right. Tag a friend and bring them in. Tag a friend and bring them in. Welcome back to the Freeman Bosley Jr. Show.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. But you didn't do it right. You say tag. How you supposed to do this? Now,
Tag, oh, want me to act it out?
Tag a friend and bring 'em in.
Tag a friend and bring them in.
That's what I
All
want.
right, all right, all right.
And
All
she
right,
coined
guys.
she coined this phrase, so I can't take it from her. I'm gonna let her introduce our guest, which I'm excited about. I really
Yes.
am, because I know the history of the brother that she's going to talk about, one of the greatest warriors out there. But you came up with that phrase, tag a friend and bring him in. So I don't want you to come
Yes.
in when the guest, and you so excited you forget what you're supposed to be doing.
What- yes.
One more time,
You want me to
tag a friend
tag a friend
and bring him in.
and bring them in. All right. Did I get
Welcome
it?
back,
Did I get
welcome
it
back.
right, listening audience? Tag a friend and bring them in.
Thank
sir.
you so much. So good morning to our guest, but I'm gonna flip it to you, my sister secretary, and I'll
Yes.
jump in when I need to.
Absolutely, absolutely. So who we have in the building with us on this morning is Mother Mary Otis. She is the mother of our great brother Darren Seals, and I'm just honored to have you in the studio with us this morning.
Thank you.
And guys, also we have Brother Byron Seals, who is Brother Darren Seals' younger brother, right? And we also have Dr. Marty Casey here with us on today. And we're here today because on Monday, September the 6th, is the anniversary date of when Brother Darren Seals was killed, was murdered. And we just want to bring some awareness and some highlight.
Assassinate. Just I wanna add
Assassinate
a little bit
him.
more with it, because I don't do no tiptoeing. If you got Brother Shaheed here, just know I'm not gonna do no tiptoeing. I ain't gonna do no buck dancing, no buck jump, and I don't like buck dancers. This brother here was assassinated and killed and also burnt up. Let's call it all the way down now. If y'all don't want me sitting there, then tell me, hey, Shaheed, you need to get over, because you keep it too hot.
Just keep it hot, Brother
Yeah,
Shaheed.
they
We're
don't
here
like
for
me around for the most part. I'm just keeping it real. That's what they did, because they hated this brother, and his brother said what they was going to do, and they did. He kept talking about what the police was doing and how they was bothering him and how they came in. He was one of those, there was a lot of them out there, but he was one of the greatest, strongest young lions, as I call him. Not no tiger. He was a lion that roared and
Yes.
could back up his roar.
Yes.
You know, because strength
And then
ain't
some
from how
actually
big you are.
equated him.
It's about how skillful you are. I'm sorry, because
You fine,
I
please
get too
continue.
excited about
Bring it
something.
in, bring it on.
You
That's
gonna
right.
talk.
But some also equated him as as Malcolm X of our time.
Okay, I can
They
accept
literally
that one.
did. And so definitely was a great brother in our community. A lot of the things, as a matter of fact, his voice was one of the reasons that Real STL News was even spearheaded, you know, because he was speaking of a black-owned, getting our story out news media platform from the beginning. And then after his death, of course, or after his assassination, here we are now with Real STL News and Voice of the People and Brother Dirk Brown. And this was all birthed through our brother, Darren Seals.
praise be to
So, Mom,
God.
we just want to say welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you so
And to-
much.
This
Yes,
morning,
ma'am.
if you would do me a favor this morning, speak directly into that mic, because I want everybody, whatever, I don't know what you want to say, and we're not here to tell you what to say. I don't have a clue what you want to say, but I don't ask nobody something. You need to brief me what you're saying, because can't nobody ask me what I'm going to say whatever I want to say. So you're here free to speak whatever you're not speaking for us, 1,600, you speaking, but you ain't got to come here tiptoeing. You know, you say what you want to say.
Well, let me say that we are here because Mom has a project,
Okay.
a book
Oh, okay.
that she is in the process of getting written. And also, we want to make sure that you all come out on September the 6th. So stay tuned, because we have more details about September the 6th. So that is what we're going to talk about on this morning. And then we'll bring her back another day for more info. But on this morning, welcome. Tell us.
Thank you. Yes, it's going to be called A Mother's Tale of Two Sons, and I have my first son, Darren, you know, the one that you all know that was assassinated. That was the second son, Darren. But my first son, Darren, you know, he was stolen at birth, and it was just tragic for me to find out. I got blessed. God blessed me to find my son. To
Yes,
find
ma'am.
out, you know, everything that happened, everything that they had in the dark came to the light.
And we can't give any details on this morning. And that's why I say we will be bringing Mother back to give us information when the book is released. And she's, her attorney said that it's okay for her to give more information. So just hang on to that. but we do need assistance with this project. Mom, tell us, what have you, and I know if it was me, and you know how I would feel, but tell us, what have you been going through over this past? Take us and tell us emotionally, how are you handling things?
Yeah, it been very difficult for me because my son Darren that got assassinated, I'm on dialysis, and I went through all the proper channels and steps to get a kidney transplant, and everything went through fine. In his job, he used to work at General Motors. They are off to give him a month off from work, and you know my son was a match for me, so he was going to donate one of his kidneys to me. So even after him being assassinated, he got assassinated. Then they also burnt up his body, so that caused me to lose the kidney. And beside that, if that hadn't happened to him, the dialysis center that I was at, you know, the things that happened to me, and my son wasn't there, and I kept saying, if my son was here, I wouldn't be going through this. But the dialysis center that I was at, you know, I was sexually assaulted twice, you know, and state's supposed to be dealing with that. And after the sexual assault there, then I transferred to another facility, and that facility, it was a few workers there, you know, was pushing blood out of me, you know, it was causing me to be weak. And also, you know, with HIPAA, they giving my records off to a security guard. They left me in the back to die with my oxygen. With no oxygen, my heart rate was like 126. My oxygen was down in the lower 70s, and I'm sitting in the hallway, you know, with no oxygen. But the people who done all this tragedy stuff to me, they got terminated, you know, and my daughter had to come, you know, and speak on my behalf.
Yes, ma'am.
You know, had to go live and speak on my behalf because she's in the medical field and she knew the medical terms to use. So state's supposed to be taking care of everything for me, you know. And like I said, if my son was here, I wouldn't have been facing all of that, you know, extra tragedy. And, you know, it's really hard right now because of me going through that in dialysis. You know, I'm not able to work right now, you know, so everything else, it just been, you know, like a really, really difficult situation right now.
So has it been 5 years now? How long when the 6th come? How many years now is it for your son?
September the 6th will be 6 years.
6 years, wow.
6 years, 6 years.
That time, wow.
So let's talk about September the 6th and we're going to bring Dr. Casey in just a little bit. I want to go back to Brother Byron. Yes. I'm going to tell you, I remember when they pulled Brother Darren Seals out of his car, and you were there on that day. And I believe he was on this lot where your mom was getting dialysis at. And I remember him going live, and I know someone had recorded that incident with the cops and all. I mean, they had been targeting him for a while.
Ain't no secret.
Right? Yes. What do you want to add? What do you want us to know? Share with us.
I mean, it was a lot.
Speak a little louder. I want everybody to hear you.
It was a lot. Just me and my brother was going through just far as just police while I was out there with them. Just that experience just was crazy. That day when we got pulled over by the police, I think he was dropping some papers off for my mom, picking them up. We came out. He was driving in his truck. We pulled up towards the lot. And all we seen about 10 different police officers just came across, draw guns and everything. We just put our hands up and looked at each other like what's going on? Like, we got slammed on our heads. Me and my brother got slammed on our heads. We got put in handcuffs.
How old were you at that time?
It was kind of frightening.
It was 14.
Yeah,
14. He was 14. He was a minor.
Yeah.
And was
14.
slammed on your head by the police officer.
Yeah.
That's what I want to point out. Go and continue. I'm sorry.
And it was kind of frightening at the time, but when we finally got towards like the little lot. They set us down, and they was talking to us, and the police officers was searching my brother's vehicle without his permission, and it was a lot. Yeah.
And you got to think about brothers and sisters who's listening. Remember, always stop thinking about somebody else. Always make you think about shut your eyes and think about your son, 14, or your grandson. 14 years old with his brother who's an activist, who's been out there fighting harder than anybody.
Yes.
I'm serious. And I ain't trying to get nothing started because sometimes they say he ain't fighting. No, put it like he was fighting.
He was fighting.
Okay. Now here he is with his brother who he looked up to. I remember that. You really looked up to your brother.
Yes, sir.
I remember that. I remember that better than anything. And now here it is. Y'all get pulled over and he's constantly saying to you, hey, the police got a problem with me. They're talking about doing something to me.
Right.
Then you in the car with him when they pull him over and then experience that. That could really, now people can understand why we have problems with police. And I'm not saying it's all police. That's not what I'm saying. But it's a lot of them. And my problem is with the good police that they won't say nothing about the bad police because you got to know they doing it. See, and then what you do is when you don't say anything, because he should never remember a story like this. 14 years old, you'll never forget that. Even though she got you going through that, in your mind, you seeing this again. And when you ever see the police pulled up, you don't know not what to think about because you're going by your first experience with them. You know? But go ahead. I just want everybody that's listening to make sure you listening, but put your daughter or your son or your grandson and quit saying it's Byron, but it's your family, and then you'll start thinking different. I'm sorry, son. I had to jump in there.
Right. But yeah, basically
I
what
want
he
you to
was
be real.
saying.
I want you to use your good loud voice. No, you got to use your loud voice.
Right. So
Go ahead. You could just talk loud.
So basically, like what he was based on what he was saying, like just that experience was like frightening. That's something I'll never forget. And basically, just to finish it off, we was on the lot, right? And they had us in handcuffs. Me and my brother was next to each other, and my brother and the police officers was interacting. He was talking, and the police officer was like, "Pick your enemies better."
Say it again now.
He said, "Pick your enemies better."
Wait.
And my brother was like, "What you
Pick
mean?"
your
My brother's like,
enemies
"What?" My brother was like, "What you mean by that?"
Excuse me.
He was
Because
like,
he asked, did he go to the Trump rally?
And he was he was asking him, "Did you go to the Trump rally?"
Tell it
Oh,
all.
he would've asked-
Yeah, he's asking
He
him.
sure would have
Yeah.
asked him that.
Yeah.
He would have asked. I promise
Yeah.
you, he would have asked. him.
They asked him.
Oh,
They
they
asked
asked him,
Brother
did he go to the Trump
Seals,
rally?
Yeah, they asked him,
Did
go to the Trump
you go to the Trump
Yeah, did
rally?
you go to the Trump
His
rally?
response was yes.
And he
And
said,
they
choose
told
your
him
enemies
to
wisely.
pick your enemies
Pick
better.
your enemies better.
Wow, no, I looked at that totally. So that's even
Yeah.
worse.
Yeah.
That's beyond worse. And I'm just saying, brother, I'm so happy to see you growing up. I mean, you just look. You don't look like you looked 6 years ago, which you ain't 6 years ago. But I'm just telling you, I'm really happy to see you. I think about you a lot. I really do, and I know it was when you lost your brother. It was hard on everybody, but I remember how it was because you looked up to him,
Right.
and he was such a leader in your life.
Yes.
And,
But
wow.
I would like to take a brief moment to share. This is what my son told me before he was assassinated.
Speak right into
It
it
was
for me.
probably like a couple of weeks
Yes, ma'am.
before he got assassinated.
Yes,
He
ma'am.
told me, he said, "Mama," he said, "prepare your heart. They're going to kill me." And so I told him, because I call him, nickname him Man. I said, Man, please stop saying that. I mean, that's like speaking into existence. Don't say that. And he said, "No, Mama, they're going to kill me. They follow me everywhere I go." So
They did.
one evening, it was like 5 detectives at my door. And so I knew they was behind it. They came in and they wanted to search my house and asked me, was he, at my house. Then one time, me and my daughter, we pulled up in front of the house, and my son and his friend was in the car. So when he got to my house first. We was going to have movie night. During his friend got to the house first. So once me and my daughter, LaToya, pulled up, they had him hemmed up to the car. And then again, there go 4 or 5 detectives. So as soon as I got out, they said, one of the detectives said, stay back. And, they in plain clothes. So I said, no, this is my house. I said, I don't even know who you are, and you got my son hemmed up to the car. So the other officer the detective, he said, ma'am, he said, you right. He showed me his badge. And I said, what do y'all want with my son? And so he told me, he said, the city police told us to come pick him up, and they just want to, want to talk to him. So I told him, and I said, go ahead, I'm right behind you. So we followed them, and they wanted them just for questioning, because they said somebody saw him racing with somebody and had street lights on. $1,400 street lights on. I said, y'all send the detectives out to get him for that?
4 detectives. How many detectives you
It
sent?
was 4 of them.
You sent 4 people out. The problem was he was shining too much light on their
Yes.
activities out there, because he was not playing with them. And the reason people loved him, they are tired of these mealy-mouthed Negroes who won't open their mouth and say what's happening. They was looking for little tigers and lions out there that would roar and keep the light on them. And that's what the problem they had with all those young people out there. If it wasn't for those young people like your son, I promise you, this thing would have been way different, because they were sending a lot, and I'm just keeping it real, a lot of them pastors in, and when they thought that verdict was going to come out, they had already got with a lot of them pastors to start talking about, this keep it peaceful and whatever, just that and other. They had already set them out there to make sure they talked to them a certain way. But them little brothers like Darren and them, and a couple other them brothers and sisters from the law, Sister Melissa and them, and a whole lot of them was out there.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't want to hear none of that. They wasn't going to listen to it, and they know that Bob McCullum was dead wrong.
Mm-hmm.
There wasn't no question about it. They knew he was a stone racist cracker. This brother Shaheed called him a cracker, because that's what he is. And they knew how he dealt with black folks, and they had a problem with that, and they didn't want to hear nothing about these bootlicking, handkerchief-head Negro pastors, the ones that was talking about everything was okay. It was okay. It wasn't okay. When they start seeing certain ones, they know, like a Reverend Darrell Gray, they already know something slick going on, because they know Reverend Darrell Gray is slick. So they don't want to hear from them. But go ahead, I'm just tying in, because when I hear something, I ain't going to skate around it.
That's right. I just want to kind of veggie back and go back when you said you shine a light on what?
Exposing them.
Yes.
They cover up.
Yeah.
Because they try to play like they the best guys, and it's a lot of them, they are. It's a lot of police, they're really sincere about protect and serve. But it's a whole lot of them got that mindset that they don't want nobody. And the problem is the darn SEALs was bringing out the stuff that fraternal order was doing and been doing for years and years and years. And it's still them saying, yes, we have some bad apples. It's not all of us, but we're going to root the bad apples out. I don't care what they do. They put their money behind them. They get them best attorneys. And they sit and walk around there with darn SEALs. I mean, not Darren Seals. What's the boy that killed Michael Brown? His name was
Wilson.
Darren Wilson. They walking around with his stuff on and his little badges on. I mean, bringing insult to injury instead of trying to put the fire out, they was inflaming the fire. And they couldn't do that with them young brothers. Darren wasn't scared of them. All them little brothers around him was quite a few around. David Rawl, it was a lot of them out there. Brother David Witts from Cop Watch. They was not scared of them white folks, and they couldn't do nothing to scare them. They couldn't pump no fear in their blood, because it's a different generation out there. You know, they had that same mindset that before they let you do that to them, they would rather be dead. See?
I would like for Mom to kind of share with us just a little bit how Brother Darren Seals had brought unity. You were sharing with me how he had taken different gang members, and they were not on they were different gangs, but they were able to come together and bring that unity. So we got about 4 minutes. If you could just give us just a brief, and then I want to make sure that we cover September the 6th so the people would know exactly where to come.
Okay.
So just give us a little,
Well, yes, they they had like a big gathering, and that night, my son told me it was about 3,000 of them strong out there, and he
Crips,
said the police
Bloods,
officer,
and
he said the police officer, they were saying all the police is left and said, let them just kill each other because there's too many of them. So actually, my son, he was talking with, it was some of the Bloods and Crips. They tied their scarves together that night.
powerful.
And they had no sleep. It was not one fight, no arguments. He said, Mama, we kicked it the whole night. So then the next morning, because didn't nobody call the police, it was no action, no shooting, nothing. So that's why they got so upset, because he brought people together like that. and wanted to shut him down. He told me, Mama, they trying to shut me up. He said, but I'm not going to shut up. I'm not going to stop.
And we are going to say this morning, long live Brother Darren Seals.
Yes.
And I'm going to go ahead and flip the mic over to Dr. Marty Casey, who is helping spearhead September the 6th, and bringing in the remembrance of Brother Darren Seal.
Yeah.
And so she can give us more information about the date, the time, and some of the activities that will take place. Welcome to the show.
Thank you and good morning to all. When Sister Mary had called me and she was telling me that the memorial for Darren's death was coming up on Monday, and I asked her, I said, what are your plans? And she says, well, you know, I'm on dialysis, Dr. Marty, and so I'm doing the best that I can here. Well, that's when it became an issue for me to make this an emergency in our city, because when we have, like Brother Shaheed just described, all these individuals who have put their lives on the line to fight not just for their justice, but for everyone to benefit in terms of justice in this city, when are we going to stand up for those individuals and we continue to keep their legacy alive? So on Monday, I am calling and I am asking everyone to come forward to meet us at the Buzz Westfall Center on Lucas and Hunt and West Florissant at 6 p.m. And we need you to be there, and we want you to bring any pictures you may have of Darren Seals. We're going to have a big card that we would like for you to sign. And I'm also asking you for you to bring a donation to his family. His mother is on dialysis, and we need to show love. It's easy to say I love you, but when we show it, that is where the healing comes in. As we listen to his younger brother Byron speak tonight, and he can barely find his voice simply because he's been traumatized. The healing starts at home. Let's do it now.
All right. And so you've heard the message from Dr. Marty Casey. We need you to be at the Buzz Westfall Shopping Center on Lucas and Hunt in West Florissant, 6 p.m. this coming Monday, September the 6th at 6 p.m. You're listening to the Freeman Bosley Jr. Show. Keep it on lock.
Quit praying.
Quit playing.
Nobody says that like Brother Shaheed, so I want to take just a minute before they leave out here while we're on break. We're not on break here. I want to take our time and say that information again. We're still live. We're just not on the radio now, but I want you to take your time, get that information out because we're kind of rushing, but it's okay. We got it out there, but I want you to give it out here. One more time. Take your time and give it out the way it's supposed to be given out.
Absolutely. We're asking everyone in the city to come out who knew Darren Seals. If you've called his name out, if you knew him, if you saw the work that he was doing in the streets during the time of the unrest of Ferguson, we're asking you to come and let's commemorate his life. We're going to commemorate his life so that his legacy will continue to live. And let's do this in honor of his mother and his family. It is time for us to stand up for one another beyond when something is happening, but even after the fact, it's still happening. Even when you can't see it, know that it's happening. So come and meet us there. Let's gather together in love and in spirit. As Sister Felicia just said, long live Darren Seals, right? Mm-hmm. And so I am asking for you all to come out and let's uplift his family, for this healing to begin, for his mother and for his brother and his sister. And he even has another brother that we're going to find out more about in a book that's going to be coming out real soon. And we're going to ask on everybody to come and be a part of that as well. We have to help her tell this story. We live through our stories when we protect our stories so we can continue to tell our stories. Because when we lose our stories, we lose sight of who we are and where we come from. And you don't know where you come from, you won't know where you're going.
Amen.
And brothers and sisters, I want to end on this note before our guests leave. Many of you stood today there for the funeral because my mind is going back and I remember it. And we was at the church that we always met. What was the name of that church that we was at that we did the recording at, the radio show at? What we had during?
I know it was the mayor, Tommy Pearson.
Yeah.
I have to get the name of the church.
It hit me in a minute, but y'all promised that you would keep his name alive that day. I never forget.
St. Mark's.
St. Mark's. I'm
St.
sorry,
Mark's.
and I'm not doing that purpose. My mind's floating because I want to just get a point out. You said because of the way the strength this brother showed, you would keep his name, his legacy, and he did something that most of you wouldn't do. And I'm not trying to put you down, but he had courage and you don't. It's fine. You can at least help support this family. So I want you to just remember what you said. If you was there and you said it was a whole lot of us there that day. You said what you would do. You said when it came time around what you would do. You said that. Now here it is. The family's here. Young brother here is growing up, but he still want to see the respect for his brother. Let's do exactly what you said you were going to do. Let's make sure it's 6 o'clock that you're there.
Can we call out his mother's cash out?
Cash out.
Yeah.
You want to come? Do we do one or we free?
So, absolutely, the Cash App, if you, when we ask that you make a donation, the Cash App is $ Bonnie Otis #4. And it's $ B as in boy, B as in boy, ONNIEOTIS, and the number 4.
Okay, there you go.
I'm going to give it again.
Yes.
B as in boy, ONNIEOTIS, number 4.
One more time.
Bonnie Otis. Cash App.
One more time.
Sound better coming from you, Brother Shaheed.
No, I want you. You my
Dollar
secretary. I'm
sign.
your secretary.
$ Bonnie Otis, B as in boy.
Bonnie Otis #4.
Okay. Bonnie Otis, number 4. Y'all good? Y'all good?
Okay, I'm good.
All right.
Yeah.
So thank you.
I just want to just repeat that. We just want to make sure we have it correctly. It's Bonnie Otis #4. That's BONNIEOTIS, the number 4.
Thank you. All right. Make sure you put the 4 on the end of the
Thank you
end
very
of it.
much, brothers and sisters. We're going to go to our next segment. Our guests are going to leave, but I want you to make sure that you at least give them a shout out, and we'll close tonight talking about the long live the legacy of Darren Seals. We would definitely be doing that. So thank you so much, my sister Mary, for coming in.
Thank
man,
you
got
so
to
much.
rekindle for a minute.
Yes, sir.
So, Secretary, when you walk in the mouth, make
Yes,
sure
sir.
that you
Bring me about.
bring my body on back in. And thank you. Would you make sure that you make sure he has my number? Tell Mary Bobby, come on, so I want to start
Yes.
the next segment.
Okay.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Thanks so
And
much.
Brother Shaheed, I have
Thank
to
you.
just tell you,
Thank
the other week when we was at the
Everybody can hear whatever you tell me. Sis.
okay,
Okay.
when we was at the Mike Brown.
I ain't got no
And-
problem with nobody saying.
No,
I'm
no,
just
I
letting
just
you
have,
know
no, I got to tease you before I go, because I told Sister Secretary I was going to. When the gentleman at the Mike Brown thing, they asked him to not talk to Mike at that time and step off to the side, and he wouldn't move to the side. I want to reenact
Yeah.
the face that you gave
Yeah.
when you stood up,
Oh yeah. I
because
wasn't
you know
playing.
I'm an actress. You said,
Yeah. If I was you, I would go on move. That's why I was really telling you, because we on this TV, but I don't give a damn about this
the face
TV.
that you gave. I
Yeah.
said, let me scoot on out the
Yeah.
way.
Thank you, my sister. Thank you so
I
much.
want to thank you.
Thank you.
for
Thank you so
keeping
much.
us safe
Thank
and
you.
respected.
Thank you. So what they were talking about is that the Mike Brown shit. We're gonna talk just a minute because Mary Bob's coming. So I said, would you pull that door up for me, please? Would you pull that door up for us? Would you pull that door up for us? How you doing, sister?
Hi.
So what they were talking about, Brother Kevin, Brother Bosley, is that the Mike Brown's was that the 7th year. We don't call it anniversary. We say assassination. We keep it real. Some guy walked up on Mike and act like he couldn't stay focused and was act like he was ready to clown. So I got out of my chair. And I warned him one time, I don't know what you're doing, but I'm going to ask you to move. Well, I'm talking to him, I said, that was the last one time. You ain't had number one time, I tell you, bro. These cameras, I don't give a damn about these cameras. You're going to start flying, and I know you're not no bird. If I was you, I would move. And he understood it, and guess what he did? He moved. So that's what they said. I didn't even know she'd seen it, but I went here and played with him. I don't like to tell people 2 or 3 times because I'm 67. I'm still a martial artist, but I can't let you get the up on me and start grabbing, because I ain't, once you start grabbing, you might be able to hold because you're big. Brother Bosley, whenever I have a problem, I start throwing these things. I throw these things. I ain't taking no chances. Hey, I'm throwing them first.
Shaheed got to know how to fight.
Yeah. What I do first, I tell you real quick, hey bro, I'm gonna tell you one time. I don't go the second time because I'm not gonna apologize for something stuck in my eye or my throat pushed. I'm not gonna push my eye through my ears. No, that's what I do because I'm a martial artist. And I ain't gonna let you push my eye through my ear, because then you say you sorry to me. No, I'm gonna apologize to you. See? So I don't bother nobody.
So you know karate?
I study Tai Chi. Oh, okay.
All right.
It's a different type of art. Tai Chi is a little bit different art. But brothers and sisters, so we covered a lot here. Mayor Bosley be coming in a minute, but I want to at least cover on the stuff that we're talking about, because that police department is corrupt in St. Louis County. It's a whole lot of them. They are beyond. They didn't even want the ethical society out there, Brother Kevin Kell. They did not want, you didn't know how hard it was to get the ethical society of black police to be able to come out there. They fought tooth and nail. One of the main people was that police chief out there, Mary Barton, or whatever her name was. She really didn't want out there. But another president was Sam Page. Sam Page, he didn't want nothing dealing with nothing black out there. He's a stone racist. And that's the problem I have with black police, and that's why I keep talking about this Sergeant Todd Ross, because they have a problem with anybody who's sitting and attack their masters. Don't nobody not know Lakeshore was a corrupt to the T. Very few black people, unless you just a straight keep your nose in white folks behind, knew what he was doing, but he covered for him, and we don't do that. So Mayor Bosley is back, brothers and sisters. We ready to go to the next segment?
Well, this next segment is what, about 10 minutes? What?
That's the last one? Okay.
Well, what you getting ready to hit?
Well, whatever you want to hit. I think we covered.
I think she's got some more information that she wants to share.
Yeah, I'm just gonna lock the cash out and give it in again, because
I got just
we
a
kind
little
of
one
rushed
on
through it.
I'm barely hit on my guy. I got to hit Rich Callow just a pinch.
Yeah, okay.
Just a pinch.
Man, why you didn't put that jazzy hat on for the show? Come on now. Oh my goodness, I looked down. You should have had. And let me tell you something. Your shirt.
We ain't back on yet.
No, we're not back on.
Okay.
Good. Your shirt with that background. You know I got to let them know to go check it out.
I can't help you. I can't help you, man. She my secretary, and I can't do nothing. And 5.
Come on, let's do it. Welcome back, St. Louis. You're listening to the Freeman Bosley Jr. Show on KATZ 1600. Hallelujah! Huh? AM. Well, we've been having some interesting conversations these last couple of minutes. This whole hour and a half has been real. So before we move on to the next issue, why don't we just let Felicia finish up with that, some housekeeping things with regard to our last guest.
Absolutely, guys. So we thank you. What we need is for you all to the event date is September the 6th at 6 p.m. Spread the word. Let others know.
Which is Monday.
Which is Monday. This coming Monday, Labor Day, September the 6th at 6 p.m. They will be at the Buzz Westfall Shopping Center, and there's you can come drop off donations. There will be a balloon release, and then there's going to be a big card for you all to get out and sign, just to show your support in the remembrance of Brother Darren Seals. And also, if you want to provide, because Mom is having a book written about her sons, as you heard in the last segment, and money is needed for that. If you can make a donation to $ Bonnie Otis #4. Again, that cash app is $ Bonnie Otis #4. BONNIEOTIS #4. All right. We thank you. See you on September the 6th at 6 p.m. at the Buzz Westfall Shopping Center on Lucas and Hunt and West Florissant.
All right. So, Brother Shahid, I think you got a little something that we need to deal with.
Because what I want to do too is invite Sister Rita. I'm on record. I'm going to invite Sister Rita Days on next week. Anybody on that council, because we're talking about a lot of stuff happening out there.
Talking about the mask mandate too.
Exactly. So what I want to do is kind of hear from her, because Sister Hazel Irvin was pushing a lot and doing a lot of things, so she can kind of brief us on where we was before we lost our giant out there, our sister out there, and kind of bring us up to we really know what we're talking about when we hitting all this kind of confusion out there. But I've been for a few weeks, Brother Boski and Brother Kevin Cab, I've been talking about a guy named Rich Callow, and I keep at Rich Callow.
CALLOW.
That's it. Rich. Or is it Richard? Rich Callow. I believe it's Richard, but Richard Callow, Rich Callow. And it's a very important name for you, because you constantly hear me say it. And
I've taken him on no different from I did Lake Shaw, who was the lieutenant colonel for putting drugs and dope. Now, this man don't put drugs and dope, but anything that has really happened nasty in the black community since Shamos. He was the one who was behind. Shamos was the mayor of the city of St. Louis. And he always pushed that he was going to open up Homer G. Phillips. I'm going to give you a quick version. Next week, I'll take a little bit more detail. But 3 times he promised to open up Homer G. Hospital, and Homer G. Hospital never got open because he had a Rich Callow showing them how to keep on putting the carrot in front of the horse, making the horse run, but never catching up with the carrot. Anything the Post-Dispatch did, Post-Dispatch or the Post-Dixie-Dispatch that I call it, as far as dealing with black people, it was Rich Callow that was behind him and Berger. It was Rich Callow who made sure that they kept stuff on the front page, North St. Louis. They wouldn't, when they talk about black folks, they would always have something nice, nasty, and it was because he bagged them up. Negative. It was Rich Callow. Remember that name? I'm constantly saying his name, Rich Callow, who made sure that Mike Owens was one of the worst people for the black community and black people.
He's one of the jump out boys.
He always did it, but the reason he would jump out, he had something because Rich Callow would always feed him any dirty information. His name should have been Hoover Cleaner. Like they gave Jagger Hoover the name Hoover, named him after the vacuum cleaner. They needed to give Rich Callow the name Hoover too, because he was the one that always went out trying to find dirt on somebody. It was Rich Callow dealing with that creek that we talked about here a few weeks ago. He was a lobbyist for that. Anything that was happening in the black community with black people, Francis Slate, you keep thinking it was Rankford. Not that I'm trying to paint Rankford like no housewife.
He was one of them.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, he was one of them.
He wasn't the ringleader, though.
Yeah, the ringleader was Rich Callow. Rich Callow is a person that I want you to pay attention to. And that's when I keep telling you, I was concerned when I heard Mayor Tashara saying that this was going to be her chief of staff.
Oh, Rich Callow?
Rich Callow was her chief of staff about 5 years ago. Google it and see if I know what I'm talking about. He was, not chief, he was her campaign manager. That's what I'm sorry.
Okay.
He was her campaign manager. Thank you. I stand to be corrected. If I'm wrong, straighten me out.
We got you.
Thank you. But the bottom line, that's what got my concern up, because Rich Callow is a person that have worked everything that have ever happened to black people in the city of St. Louis that was bad, and it's from back with Shamos. He ain't just started. Anything that Francis Slade did that was dirty, it was because he had the backing of Rich Callow. So I'm always worried about now when I hear about line item things that we trying to get passed and how the votes can't get right now. How come black people can't get enough votes to make sure that when $33 million is supposed to be coming in the black community, how Rich Callow can go over and make sure he block votes.
But make sure you put in there how we can't get black votes.
Help me say it.
Yeah.
How we
can't get our own people to be with, how we can't get black aldermen to be with other black aldermen.
That's terrible.
To give money to projects in North St. Louis. That's terrible.
$33 million to be exact. That's a lot of money. And to say that we're not going to do it and make it an issue is because they got to pay these campaign promises back to Rich Callow and these white folks. And that's not no good. You heard
Pamela Boyd, the president of the Aldermanic Black Caucus. She was on here and spent quite a bit of time with us.
Yes.
Going through the fact that the majority of the black aldermen, they want this money, because they understand that North St. Louis needs this money, and they're going on the line with it. But there are still black aldermen within their ranks that are staying with the mayor against North St. Louis. So that's an issue.
They got to be getting, something's happening. Something ain't right. It ain't no spiritual talk going on. They getting paid some kind of way. So the bottom line, this is bad. And that's why also John Muhammad came and said he wrote a letter. And then he said that, you was talking about lobbyists coming in, Mayor, from time to time working. And he was saying the lobbyists really don't even have no kind of relationship with them in the mayor's office. And, I think being the first black female mayor, she should think really about what she's doing to the black community. And y'all can't keep on talking about she's black and we got to give her a pass.
Black girl magic.
Yeah, black girl magic. You can't give no black, especially when a black alderwoman came over here, over the black caucus, and said we done came to her and sat down with her, and she's making it a big issue. But all of it, when you tie it back into it, understand who Rich Callow is. Don't forget that name. Matter of fact, you call 622-3201. That's the mayor's office number, 314-622-3201. I was in there. I know that's hard. Ask them who is Rich Callow. Did Rich Callow have anything to do with her when she first started running? Where's Rich Callow at? Callow. Rich Callow. Richard Callow or Rich Callow. I want people to absolutely understand. Every week I'm going to do a thing. Just like Lake Shaw used to be my person. He's kind of dead and gone now. And not physically dead, but he's like a dead horse now. You're going to constantly hear me talking about Brother Kevin Kev, who Rich Callow is. Every week I'm going to do a little small piece on Rich Callow. Remember that name.
All right.
Ask the man who is Rich Callow.
Before we get out of here, and Brother Shaheed, thank you for that history. And guys, tune in next week because Brother Shaheed got a whole agenda, and we're ready for it. All right? But I wanted to say congratulations. Congratulations to my sister friend, Dr. Mati
yes. Tell the story.
Davis.
Yeah.
Congratulations. She is an infectious disease specialist named St. Louis Health Director. And so I am just ecstatic, guys. St. Louis is a better place because Dr. Mati Davis has stopped through to take care of us. Now, we also want to make note that Dr. Frederick Echols did stay on staff.
That's good.
And he did a good job.
Yes, and she stated that. Dr. Mati said he did a great job leading us through this pandemic, and he is still on staff. Yeah. He is second in charge. Yeah. And so give a shout out to St. Louis City.
Well,
for
let's
Dr.
talk about him a little bit. Let's talk about what you know about the doctor because she comes with credentials.
Absolutely.
And you can tell the listening audience a little bit about her background.
Yeah,
that you know personally.
Yeah, I know her personally. She is the head infectious disease doctor for the VA hospital. Mm-hmm. She also chaired for the HIV and AIDS clinic at Washington University. She spends much of her time fighting HIV and different infectious diseases.
And maybe we get on the show.
You have seen her, absolutely. I'm sure you have seen her on MSNBC and CNN and all these different other channels. She has been instrumental in helping us fight this COVID vaccine, this COVID virus. So just give a shout out to her. She's a mother of two. She has an awesome husband. Like, she's a phenomenal person.
And you're going to try to get on next week.
But maybe not next week, but the week after next, because Brother Shaheed got a full lineup for us next week.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to the Freeman Bosley Jr. Show on KTZ 1600. Hallelujah. Tag a friend, bring him in. We want you to like it, share it, tag it, follow it. Like it, share it, tag it, follow it. Like it, share it, tag it, follow it. That's what we want you to do. It's the Freeman Bosley Jr. Show on KTZ 1600 AM. Quit playing.
Hell with the bass there. I want you to do one thing, Brother Kevin Kev. Make sure you check and see that we done did every segment. I don't know why I think we did 4 segments, but if you say we did 5 segments, then it's good. I don't know why I think you're missing one.
I know we did 2 20 minutes, right?
We did 2 20 minutes, and then when you left out, we only did
when we first came on.
So that's okay.
Yeah.
And then
so what was that segment?
Mama was, get us off live, please.